What some may see as an ugly mess of lines could be so much more if we open our minds. Join me on my journey if you have a big heart. Come on, let's go, it's the art of the chart.
Hi, I'm Zachy Hennessy. Welcome to Art of the Chart. There's a whole lot of beauty in this world, and just because cryptocurrency analysis usually leaves most people slumped over on their desk and waiting for the sweet release of death, it doesn't mean that we can't try to have a little fun with it. You don't have to be a technical analyst to see the beauty in these charts. So we're going to take a look at a technical chart here, and we're going to do some work on it. And feel free to paint along with me, and you can send us your artwork on Twitter at BLOCKTV. So here we have a chart. This is from an altcoin, as you'd call it, that I found called Chat. So I went ahead and clipped this beautiful chart here. This is the daily, I think, from June 4th to June 5th. And you know, one of the things that I really enjoy about using, by the way, while I'm talking here, I'm just going to start outlining this kind of arc here, these ridges. One of the things that I really like about using altcoins and charts from that is that, you know, there's really a lot of mystery involved because, you know, not everybody cares about, you know, every little altcoin or, you know, things like that. So it's kind of like, oh, what caused this sharp dip right here? I'll never know because I don't really care enough to look it up. And I think that that's, you know, the beauty of using something like this as opposed to like a Bitcoin chart, you know, where everybody knows everything that's going on or thinks they do. So we're just gonna, the first step with one of these is you always want to get a nice even line going for your, okay, so this is my trace, right? So this is my baseline. I'm gonna really start with this, and you know, we'll kind of, I like to meditate on it for a moment and to look at it and really try to understand how it speaks to me. I think that I kind of see something happening here. So what if we take this and we swoop kind of to about, whoa, oops, whoa, kind of went crazy there. That's fine, there are no mistakes. As a beautiful man once said, there are no mistakes, there are just happy accidents. And I'm making quite a few here, but I think we're gonna manage. Let's, I want this. Yeah, beautiful. We're just gonna erase that right up. So anyways, as I was saying, we're just gonna, I like to use white in my initials here for the initial trace, just because I think that gives it a nice kind of chalkboard kind of color. Most of these things, they have kind of like a blackish background, so I think the white is a really great contrast. So now we've got our initial arc here. Moving back to brush, and I think we're gonna kind of continue that line into kind of a curve here. And that's really speaking to me in a big way. And I found this chart, like I said, I found this chart for this altcoin. I was walking through the woods and, you know, taking a walk with my wife. And what did we find? We found this little rock. You know, it was kind of like, oh, wow, there's a rock right here in the woods. So we pick up the rock, and underneath it, just this beautiful chart just fluttered right out. So I think the fluttering is really going to speak to our design today. And that's why I feel like we're going to want to kind of go in this direction. And again, you know, this is just my interpretation. What you may come up with at home, that's purely up to you. And I'd love to see what you have to come up with. So we're going to, I think we're going to do something like this. And I hope that kind of it's starting to come to light here, what I'm trying to portray. But, you know, part of the beauty about analyzing these technical charts in this way is that you really get the opportunity to meditate on yourself and to really understand, you know, tap into your deep psyche and understand, like, oh, you know, most people, they see this, these lines and ridges and, you know, they say, oh, what a mess. But if we really focus, we can find something beautiful. So I'm going to use a little technique called foreshortening here and kind of give this guy another wing here. And let's go ahead and give him some legs. That's beautiful. I love that. That's really great. So once we finish with our initial outline, which I think we just did, I think it's beautiful as is. I'm going to give him like a little bit of feather lines here. So again, with keeping with the fluttering theme, I feel like we should really go with something that's, you know, kind of speaks to that vibe. So we're going to go ahead and now we're going to add a little bit of color. And this is where things get exciting. So we're going to take, you know, most birds, run-of-the-mill birds, they run in a range of like white to brown to black. But I think today we're going to go with something a little more exciting. We're going to take and just kind of start from the bottom. And we're just going to fill in. And don't worry about covering your chart in the back, right? That was just there to get you started. You know, the key of technical analysis for a chart is to just really let it speak to you. And once you feel like you understand what's going on, you don't need the chart anymore, right? You can just kind of trust in your instinct. And so that's looking really beautiful. So I think what we're going to do now is kind of take kind of an orangish color and give them some accent right there. Oh, that looks great. This reminds me of on my windowsill, my wife and I, we have a little bird who she came and built a nest, and she had a boyfriend, and they were living together. And they laid 2 eggs right there on our windowsill, and that was, we were so besides ourselves with joy. And you know, wouldn't you know it, eventually, about last week, they hatched. And well, only one of them hatched. We don't know what happened to the second one. It could be that he flew away to go where the good birds go, but you know, we like to focus on the living one, and he's really beautiful. He sits there on the windowsill about like that, with a leg going that way and a leg going that way, and he just kind of breathes very heavily because it's the height of the summer. So we're very happy to have him in our lives, and we're going to watch him grow up. Can't wait till he starts making noise. That's going to be great. So I think what we have here is something really special. I'm going to come back to my lines here and just kind of touch up some stuff. You know, we like to take pride in our work, you know. So we'll kind of add a little bit of that, kind of give it some details, you know, and then maybe a couple more little feathers. And then because, you know, in honor of this being a chat chart, you know, I figured I would let him say something that, you know, is common for birds to say. So we're going to give him, you know, what do you say when you're trying to chat? You know, the same thing that this bird's going to say. He's just going to say, hey. And I think that's really beautiful. So what are we going to call this guy? That's the question, right? I think, well, I think we're going to call him Chimblet. That's going to be his name. So we're just going to go ahead and go down to the bottom of our chart here, and we're just going to sign that. C-A-C-H-Y. Beautiful. And that's another one for the bank. Let me just kind of center it there. That's beautiful. This is Chimblet. Wonderful. So yeah, like I said, you know, anybody can be an artist and anybody can be a technical analyst if they really try their hardest. And that's what we did here today. And I think that I'm really proud of what we've done together. Well, wasn't that nice? From all of us here at BLOCKTV, I'd like to thank you. And we'll see you again real soon.